going to do another unboxing today, but this one's sort of like not so much an unboxing as a reopening of a box that we've got in the store. It's the store copy of our favorite game, Dixit. Now, if you've never played Dixit, it's really cool. It is such a cool game that works between ages 3 to 93. It's a game where you choose cards from your hand, and you try and find a word or a phrase that you think suits that card, and then everyone tries to guess which card's yours. So I'll get into the specifics of that in a second, but I just wanted to show these cards off because the best part about this game is the art. The art on the cards is absolutely phenomenal. There's so many cool ones. I'm just going to lay out a bunch for you to zoom in on and have a look at. So evocative, and you can imagine as you're playing the game, there's all sorts of different words and phrases that you could come up with that would suit these cards. So that's a very pretty game to play. So a quick rundown of how the game works. You've got a you've got a game board here. You've got your little bunnies, which represent which player you are. See, they're little bunnies, or as I like to call them, like angry toucans. Now what you would do is you would deal out cards to every player. So let's just imagine, just for example, I think you use 7 but or 6, but I'll give 4 to each player, and then say player 1 will find a card and they'll say scales, and they'll put it face down. And then the other players at the table will look through their hand and look for a card that represents the word scales, and they'll put it face down. And say, let's go over here. Cool. So they'll do that, and then the cards that have been selected will be shuffled around, and then they'll all be turned up along this row here, and then each of the players, using their selected colour, will find the one that they believe is the correct option. So the red player was the one that played their card, so the green players will both select a number that they think is the correct card, and then they'll reveal them simultaneously. White thinks it's number 1, green thinks it's number 3, and then based on whether all the players, none of the players, or only some of the players got it correct, each of the bunnies moves forward on the track, and you're trying to race each other to the end. It's a really, really cool game because anyone can see a picture and come up with a sound or a phrase or an expression that relates to it, and it's a really good way to see how well you know people or how well you can communicate really cool ideas to people. So we love this game at the shop. It's one that we bust out any chance we get, and it also anyone can sit down at the table and play with you. There's no real intellect level that you have to have. There's no strategy to it really, but there can be if you're playing in a certain way, which is really, really cool. So the reason I wanted to bust this out is because we have expansions for the game as well. So those of you who have already played it might have already seen some of these, but these expansions here are really, really awesome. We've got 84 card sets that add to the existing selection of cards. So some of the ones we've seen in here aren't from the base set. We've already added some in here, and I'll show you those in a second. But firstly, what I wanted to do is open up this one here and give you a look at some new cards which I'm going to add to the collection, to our store Dixit copy. You see these are really, really cool. Each of the expansions is done by an individual artist. So this one's done by Clement Lefebvre, and comes with a really nice outlay that explains what's in the box. And if you have a look here, got a whole bunch of beautiful cards in here that they just look amazing. I mean, this could be a bite, it could be fruit, it could be book, it could be plate, it could be time, it could be candle. There's just so much to these pictures that really adds an extra dimension to the game. I mean, what can you think of that could be expressed with? What about this poor sucker who's stuck in a flower? What about this elephant, bird, ox house thingy? Chest of drawers. There's so much you can do. So these are all going to go into the set. So when we're allowed to come to the shop and start playing again, these will be in the mix. I love this one. That's goldfish floating around light bulbs. Brilliant. That's light bulbs floating around things. So there's a lot of fun there. The expansions that we've got are absolutely fantastic. But there's a very specific one that I wanted to show off. We've got a couple of copies still here at the store of. This is the Dixit 10th anniversary set. Now you see the shiny box with the gold leaf on it. Really, really cool. Reason I wanted to show this off is because the cards that come with it actually have a little bit of gold leaf on them. Very pretty, very, very pretty. And so I like showing these off, and I specifically like playing these cards when I get them in my hand in the game. And yeah, can you see the reflection in that? Is it coming up?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Broken vase, crockery. There's a little lizard at the bottom. So that's why I wanted to bust that out and show off the cards that are available for Dixit, because this game is really, really beautiful. It's a great game for storytellers. It's a great game for expressive children. It's a game for children who aren't expressive and who you want to help them get out of their shell. It's a good game for playing with grandma when grandma comes around, because the gameplay is very simple. You don't have to think about tactics and strategy or statistics or anything like that. You just have to be able to look at a picture and come up with an idea. So it's a great game for everybody involved. Perfect for the family, especially when you're sitting around, especially when it's raining, as it's raining outside right now. That's why I was inspired to pull out this game and show you guys. So yeah, look, I'm gonna leave you to it. I really hope that somebody comes by and checks this out, because it's a very good game. And yeah, thank you very much.